I took this apart to do some things to it, and I'm putting it back together, so I thought I'd give you guys a tour. I just turn it on, make sure it works. And it does. Excellent. So, now I'm just going to start laying in the buttons. I don't have a 3D printer, so I had somebody else 3D print this stuff for me. There we go. Just fit in the buttons. And now this board that basically everything runs through needs to get mounted on top of those buttons. Make sure everything's out of the way. I see some cables under there. Alright. The helping hand was really good for soldering stuff, but for holding this whole thing here, I need like a bigger one with like a rubber hand or something, and now I can do it. Okay, so now that I have all those started, I'm just going to peek under it. Okay, make sure all the buttons are good. And now here we go, gently and without getting any of my wires, I need to start to screw this in. I'm going to do this one first because it's the easiest one. That said, I do have my L or R button, I can't remember, one of those wires that's right here, which I do need to inch out of the way. Because obviously this thing is homemade as hell. Alright, got that anchored there. Okay, now I'm going to do the most difficult one, which I've taken this thing apart enough times now. I know I need to kind of thumb all these. There we go. Now very slowly, because I will touch the Raspberry Pi and the ribbon if I'm not careful. Really slowly. Okay, I think that's about as far as that one will go. Alright, now this one. Oop. Gotta watch the cables. Okay, now again, on this one I gotta go really slowly because I'm right up here next to the computer. Alright, now I need to make sure they're all in there good enough. Alright, feels good. Now I need to power it on again and make sure that it is indeed still working. Alright, now you might hear the feedback. I don't know how sensitive that microphone is. That helps a lot. Now this part's a little insane. I do leave it on for this part because I want to be able to hear the audio feedback and fine tune a bunch of this stuff. But basically this battery needs to go. Yeah, hear that feedback? That's because I'm so close to the headphone jack over here. But that foil really helps. I'm going to wrap this ribbon now in some more foil. And now all that foil helps insulate whatever is causing that feedback with that headphone jack. Seems to be pretty good. I'm in the Game Gear emulator. That's okay. I am going to turn it off now. Now this part is a little tricky because I have this mess of cables here. And they are really well organized, but I am not really well organized. So basically I screwed up this here. This is supposed to be the power switch, and it's really elegant and tiny. And I used super glue instead of hot glue because it was right there. And it didn't work out for me. It actually glued the switch. So I dremeled it so it's soft, and I went out to the hardware store today and I got a switch for like an oven or something, and I stuck that in there and it seems to work really good. So that's that. Basically now I just want to very gently squeeze this thing together, and I want to be sure I'm being aware of where all my cables run, and it's good to plan ahead, but I don't. So yeah. So since I put in that oven switch, I no longer have a spot for my sound card. So now my sound card I'm putting over here by the speaker, and I'm just kind of wedging it in with the wires, with just kind of using its own wires to support it in there. And it worked out really well earlier today. It is actually running right now. Okay, so Now, I've got it pretty well sealed up. I'm just making sure everything's good. See, I had a cable stuck there. You want to be really careful. And go really slowly. Okay, that looks good. Okay, it's a good thing this thing's semi-transparent too. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I recommend it. Okay, very carefully sandwiching this part together. Just need a couple screws to just kind of hold things together. And this part again is a little tricky. Okay, once I get that pretty well anchored, then I do the two really tiny bottom screws with just this little screwdriver because they are way tiny and fragile. Check. This side. Double check. Okay, and now I lost a screw earlier, so I'm missing a screw. But I decided I wanted it here. And that side up there I didn't put one in, just because I figure there's more tension going on in the middle of this thing. And now I can play Jurassic Park.